Real quick, you ever heard the story? Matt Damon talking and telling the story of The Departed with Jack Nicholson.
I don't think so.
He's telling a story of this scene. I just saw it. It's like, I'm not in the scene, but I was talking to him, and he's like, it's the scene where it's 1/8 of a page on the script. It says, I forget the guy's character's name, but Jack Nicholson shoots the guy and he falls, and that was the scene. And Jack is like, he's like, you know what would make this good? I'm gonna do the scene. And it was supposed to be just Jack, but he had his helper.
Oh yeah,
like the guy who's always with him. He's like, I want to have him. Yeah, I want to have him with me, and I want it to be a woman, not a man, because that's more sinister, you see. and then he's talking to Matt Damon. He's like, and the scene could stop there, but the camera keeps rolling. And then you see me, and I say something like, man, she fell funny. That's a pretty sinister line, because it implies I've seen enough people fall to know when one is different than another.
Right.
And then he's like, and the scene could end there, but the camera keeps rolling. And I turn to my buddy and I say, he has an axe. So he's about to chop her up. That's pretty sinister. But then he's about to swing, and I say, oh, wait. I think I want to fuck her again. And he's like, and that's a very sinister line, because it implies that I've already raped her.
Jesus Christ.
And then the whole time he's like, yeah, I get it. No, yeah, that's pretty terrible. But then, and he's like, and then the scene could end there, but the camera keeps rolling. And I say to my pal, he looks at me and I say,
Sarah's laughing in the fucking
and I say, and then he says, you need help. And then he's like, and see, that's a sinister line, because it implies that this is all a joke to me. The rape, the murder. It was like, God damn, it's the funniest story. And he's like, that's all. He's like, that's all in the movie. They just cut out the rape line, but they pretty much did the rest of it all from just a scene where it says he shoots him. Jack Nicholson kept adding all this shit.
Oh, God.
I just had to share that. I saw that. I was like, oh, my God. That's great, dude. It's amazing.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Hello there. My name is Bryan.
And I'm Bryan.
And this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 73. We got a treat for y'all.
63.
What did I say?
You said 73. We're jumping around. That's staying in the edit. That's hilarious.
Oh, shit. I thought I said 69 for a second. That's something on my mind. Yeah. We got a treat. We got a treat for you. Episode 63. In lieu of it being October and Halloween coming up, we wanted to do, because we weren't doing a theater movie this week, so we'll do a retro. We wanted to do a scary movie, arguably one of the best of all time. We're talking Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Not that piece of shit Stephen King's The Shining in 1997 made for television shit. Which I guess is far more accurate than this, but who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I remember watching it as a kid growing up. That was one of the, like, those are miniseries we just showed up for every week. You know, it was just like, I don't know, my parents love The Shining. And so they're like, oh, let's watch this TV adaptation. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I imagine it's pretty fucking corny.
So it came out in 1980. Obviously written, produced, and directed by Stanley Kubrick, co-written with novelist Diane Johnson. That, Stephen King has a lot to say about this movie. He hates it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it starts right there. That he got novelist Diane Johnson to help him write the screenplay. Stephen King's like, hey, what I'm fucking right here. I wrote the damn thing.
Yeah, he actually wrote a script. He wrote a fucking script treatment for this movie and gave it to Stanley. And Stanley's like, nope, I'm not using your fucking dumbass script.
Yeah, and what's also weird is starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Scatman Crothers, and Danny Lloyd. What's also weird is that there's a lot of Stephen King movies now, right? Back then, Back then, I don't know how many there were at that point, but not many, if any. So, Stanley Kubrick to do a Stephen King movie is pretty crazy, because I can't think of another Stephen King movie that got anywhere near this. You know, arguably one of the best filmmakers of all time, a lot would say. So it's kind of a weird situation because a lot of them are kind of cheesy TV movies.
Yeah.
Usually done by Stephen King himself. Like he has a big hand in the cheesy ones, or, you know, decent theater movies, but not like, you're not having a Scorsese or somebody direct these things like you did here with Kubrick. So I've always kind of struck me as odd that Kubrick did a Stephen King movie.
Yeah, I was looking into that because I thought that was a bizarre choice, because Kubrick, to my knowledge, every movie he's ever done has been a book adaptation. Clockwork Orange is a book, Full Metal Jacket is a book, Eyes Wide Shut, 2001. But they're all just so different and interesting novels, and then you got a Stephen King novel. Not that there's anything wrong with Stephen King, but it's kind of a more mainstream novel and author.
Yeah.
And I read that it was because him and Warner Brothers were starting to go head to head because his movies just weren't making money. I mean, we look at Kubrick nowadays and think he's like a fucking master, and his movies are incredible pieces of art. But back then, they weren't making a shit ton of money, so they wanted him to make something that could give them money, and so he just for whatever reason, landed on The Shining to get a bigger box office than he normally would.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Didn't work.
Shining didn't do well, and it was pretty panned by critics too, amazingly. Yeah. Now the critics love it, but critics, when it came out in 1980, they're shitting on it. It's like, what the fuck? Did you watch the same goddamn movie I watched?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Anyways, that's the eye of time. So I don't know where to start with this. There's so many weird things, huh? So many good things. Let's start with this. So this film, most films, 5 months, 6 months shooting at the most. Typically on set, 13 months.
Yeah, this is a long one
for The Shining. 13, longer than a year. Holds the record for most takes in a shot. World record. Or I think it's 128 when Wendy's going up the steps. Jack's kind of following her. What Kubrick said something I thought was very interesting, and I really I understand, and it makes a lot of sense. That he said, you spend all this time and money trying to get a movie made. It takes you 5 years, 6 years to get everything in the right place to finally start putting things onto film. And then that's when they want you to rush. That's when they want you to hurry up, get the take as fast as possible. He's like, I think it should be the opposite. We should rush to get the money and get to this point, and then I should go as slow as possible to get the absolute best thing on the frame. And I was like, it makes a lot of freaking sense, man.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense looking at this movie too, because this movie is pretty close to perfection, I think. Cinematography, the acting, everything about it, everything has its place and doesn't feel long-winded, or it's just perfect. Everything has a little thing you can notice later on in multiple watchings, and it's just so good. And that's good horror movies are like that too. You notice little things foreshadowing moments or scary stuff that you didn't notice at all. So I think it's pretty close to perfection.
Yeah, it's my favorite Kubrick movie. I think if you probably would have asked me my early 20s, maybe late teens, I probably would have given you a different answer, maybe like Clockwork, just because I was an angst teen back then with my Fight Club, with my Clockwork Oranges and my Natural Born Killer, all that. But nowadays, over time, Shining has become my favorite because I think it's probably its most accessible. And I think it's the best paced. I think it's, like you said, the acting is amazing. I know Shelley Duvall gets some shit for this movie, but I think she's fucking great. I think she's awesome in this movie. Scatman Crothers is fantastic. As Dick Halloran, like everybody, even the small parts, the guy who plays Mr. Ullman, like these little side ones, even those performances are great. The mood and the atmosphere of the movie is creepy and weird, and the movie just sucks you in. Like, I don't know, there's something about it. You don't want to blink the whole time. It just really grips you.
From that iconic opening, man. The driving, a lot of Steadicam stuff, man. That looks just really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sweeping shots over the mountains and then dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, it's so good. It looks so cool. And Shelley, Duvall, whoever her name is. I used to think she was shitty in this movie, but now looking at it, I think it's just the character is really whiny and kind of unlikable, and that's just the character.
Sure,
she's just a whiny, kind of frazzled beta woman who lets herself get pushed around and lets herself get talked down to constantly, and she has no backbone anymore. She's just can't stick up for herself anymore. She has no confidence, and it just comes through in the character, which makes her read as super whiny and a little bit unlikable to me, because it's like I'm just the whole time you're like, just do something, woman, say something, or leave it.
That's what's great is like, I kind of felt that way back in the day, and when I was rewatching it last night, she is like an agreeable kind of weak person in a lot of ways, but she really comes through kind of towards the end. She really starts doing shit, which I thought was really cool. I just didn't really take that angle, like her fucking hitting him with a bat and dragging him into the thing, and she saves her son in the end. So there's, she kind of becomes a little more triumphant in the latter half of the movie. But she's definitely weak throughout the most of it.
Yeah, but I don't mind it now. I mean, it fits her character.
Yeah,
crazy, frazzled, and she's just a kind of a weird woman.
Mm-hmm.
The actress, so it's kind of hard to get past that. Like, I look at her, I just see olive oil. You know what I mean? She's built like olive oil. She played olive oil. It's like, whoa, help me, Popeye. She's got that voice.
Forgot about Popeye, yeah.
But she just, every time I see her, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, my two favorite scenes with her is obviously the fucking infamous Grand Master Room scene where Jack is kind of tormenting her a little bit. Her performance in that, equally with Jack, because that's another great performance from Nicholson in that scene. But even though she's just crying most of the time, you fucking believe it. You feel like how frazzled she is. And dude, the axe coming through the door, her performance on the other, like her just screaming in the corner of the room as the axe is coming through, so good.
3 days shooting that scene.
Crazy.
3 days. I'm sure Jack Nicholson was tired as fuck.
Yeah.
But and she's like that because I've seen the behind the scenes footage, like shot by his daughter, Kubrick's daughter, called like Making the Shining. And dude, she catches a lot of him going off on her on set. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? No, it's pretty fucking simple. Look behind you. Hello. Are you stupid? And she's like, no, I'm not. She's like, I'm not stupid. I just looked and he said go. It's like, but did I say go?
Yeah.
Are you? Who? And he's just going off. And I was just like, it was awkward to watch, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of an infamous thing that he kind of tormented her in this set. Even he admit that he kind of didn't really get along with her.
But he also said he did that on purpose to make her as frazzled and disheveled as possible. And I don't know if he did, but he's enough of a genius where I believe it. He did. And then like it comes through on the cell on the film, man. Like she looks rattled. Every scene, pretty much, she's just rattled looking. And it works. And that's also why he did, so many takes. Because then they were talking like you lose the rhythm and you do so many takes, you just get tired. So then it just becomes bad. But then they're all saying you get a second wind after you reach about 40 takes, and then you get the second wind, and you've done so many by that time that it's just second nature, all the lines and everything you're supposed to do. So you're living the character at that point.
Sure.
You're living in the moment. There is no, it's way easier to act because you're there now. And I see that in all these scenes, man. But we could talk about Jack Nicholson. We'll go through some of the performances. Awesome, man. Stephen King's criticism, and I haven't read the book, but I've read about the book and how it goes and differs. But, Jack was supposed to be taken over by the demons of like the hotel. Like the supernatural force in the hotel takes over him against his will to kill his family. And in this one, they kind of paint him as an asshole before he gets to the hotel. Mm-hmm. And that's Stephen King's biggest gripe. He's like, they're making him seem like a jerk before he gets to the hotel. In the book, he's pretty good before the hotel. And it's like, they're all looking forward to the hotel. It's a new start because I guess they were kind of going to get divorced because of him pulling the arm of his kid. And so I can understand that. And yeah, he does play it kind of assholey in the car ride, just in the car ride. Yeah. I don't know how much of that is just Jack Nicholson and the way he talks. He just kind of seems like an assholey guy. But yeah, he played it more like the ghosts aren't forcing him to do anything. They're just kind of antagonizing him, because they're like, "Are you gonna finish it?" He's like, "I'll do it." All right. Like, it's not like they're possessing him to do it.
Sure.
In the book, they're kind of just influencing him a little bit, pushing him along. And what an awesome turn it becomes, man. It's like every little scene you see him in later and later, and they filmed it chronologically, which is a really good idea for this movie, because then it's easier for him to gradually play crazier and crazier. You don't have to remember what scene is what and where.
Right.
So I thought that was a good idea, expensive idea to shoot chronologically. What I was going to say about it's like every scene, like that's one of my favorite scenes is when Wendy finds what he's been typing up the whole time. And it's just all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. She starts going through it. It's just page after page in different ways, like different styles it's written. And it's just, that's a pretty creepy scene. You're like, what the fuck? She's like, he's like,
what helps in a lot of these scenes is the fucking awesome score. Like when she starts looking at the page and all the strings come in and like the weird noises.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really good score. And it really picks up.
Anything creepy, I kept having to turn it down when I was watching. Anything creepy is just a very, very high screeching notes. Just, oh God. Yeah. Very creepy. And I love he comes in. What the hell does he say exactly?
Do you like it?
Oh yeah. No, I think
he said, how do you like it?
Yeah, how do you like it? Oh, Jack. What? I said, how do you like it? He starts flipping through it. And then that other scene is like, do you understand that every time you come in this room, it breaks my concentration? And then I have to fucking find my spot again. Here's what I want you to do. Whenever you hear me typing in this room, or fuck it, if you don't hear me typing, say, stay the fuck out of the room. Can you do that?
Whatever the fuck you hear me doing.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck you hear me doing, don't come in here. He's like, how about we start right now with you getting the fuck out?
It's like, Jesus.
And then, and she's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to bring you a sandwich later. Still bring the sandwich. All right. But yeah, some of the greatest shit. And then like, of course the stairs 128 times, man.
Yeah.
Woo. That's nuts. Walking up and down those steps and I didn't say I was going to hurt you. You didn't listen. You didn't let me finish, Wendy. Just said I was going to bash your fucking brains in. Bash them right the fuck in. I love that, dude.
Yeah, it's such a good delivery.
And she's choking up on that bat in the middle of the bat. I was like, what are you doing, motherfucker?
Yeah. She's just swinging that thing.
She's like in the middle of the bat, though. So she's got like this much to swing.
Yeah.
Like, to choke up, baby. Go down on that thing. Get some range on that swing. Get some leverage, some power. What you got to do is lift that back leg. You ever watch those little leg tapes back in the day? Cock that fucking foot and you put that shoulder in there. Give him the Jose Canseco.
Yeah, that's a fucking iconic scene.
And Scatman. What a fucking name on this guy.
Yeah.
Scatman Crothers, baby.
He's so good. He's really good in this movie.
Yeah.
You believe him as that goddamn cook.
Yeah, he's cool, man. You want some ice cream, Doc?
Yeah.
That poor old man, though, they put him through hell, man. I was watching. They did the tour, right? He gives the tour.
Yeah.
85 times. 85 times they made that old man give that tour.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. It's like, here's the fucking fridge again, Wendy. All right. And then when he gets killed, the axe in the chest, 50 to 60 times. and he has to fall. And like he remembers hearing one of the stagehands say, this guy's too old to be falling this much. And I guess Jack Nicholson said, old? He ain't old. He could fall 50 or 60 more times at least.
Jesus.
And I guess he had to fucking go to a chiropractor, like a doctor after that shot, and just fucked his back all up.
Which is weird because the way they shoot it, the axe sticks into his chest. So technically you could probably just use editing to kind of put him down on the ground, softly, but nope. You fucking hard.
You're gonna drop his ass.
Yeah. Apparently he didn't die in the script, and he was kind of upset because I got even on set. Nicholson, like when they'd meet friends or whatever, and he goes, "Oh, this is Scatman. He's the hero of the movie." Because in the script, he actually does save what's his wife's name, Wendy and Danny. But apparently, the last second, Kubrick's like, "Well, it's a horror movie. Someone needs to die, so we're gonna kill you." He's like, "Oh man."
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I do know about the like 2 minutes that were cut from the end of the movie. The movie was sent to theaters, and then like after the weekend it opened, Kubrick demanded they send the film back, and he removed 2 minutes of the ending. So the ending is the removed ending is Jack is frozen like normal, and then it goes to like a hospital.
Yeah.
Or no, it goes to like, they show feet, right? At the Overlook Hotel, like arriving, like police, coroner. And it's like, is the girl okay? Is the boy okay? And they're like getting in an ambulance. And I even think Scatman might be alive in this version. It's like, yeah, they're all okay. It's like, and what about the killer? We never found his body. And so they never found Jack. I'd like to see that footage. I've only heard it described. I don't know if it's somewhere out there. But I think that would help explain the ending. Because the ending, when it pulls in on the photo, right?
Yeah.
And it shows him in the 1920s ball, that's very confusing as to what's going on. But I think if they don't find his body, I think it's almost like the hotel absorbed him, right, into its history.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he's one of the, he's one of the ghosts. Now he's part of the history. So there is no body. He's gone. So I think that would have been a kind of cool ending to it to help explain that picture a little better. Because as of right now, I don't get it. I've heard a lot of fan theories that like he was a reincarnated, like he who was always the caretaker, like they say, like he's reincarnated and he's just meant to do it, or it's just like a different guy every time at the hotel is reliving this moment from its past, so it keeps doing it again or something. I don't know what I think, but it doesn't matter because the movie's awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, it's funny.
not,
oh, sorry.
yeah, I mean, it's not incumbent upon that. You just want more answers because it's so good.
Right. Yeah, this was. I'm glad you brought this up because this is the first time. Like I've seen this movie dozens of times throughout my life, and you know, when it comes to the ending every time, this is one of the, I kind of just shrug off. I'm like, okay, I don't really know what that means, but whatever. This movie rules. But it's not like an ending like Sixth Sense where you're like, oh shit, it changes the movie and you want to rewatch it, you know, and that you know mind frame. It's not one of those. But it's interesting. Last night, for the first time ever, because I've heard about that reincarnation theory, and for the first time, I looked at this movie through the lens of like him being reincarnated, and it kind of makes a lot of sense. Like the moment he meets Lloyd, he goes, "Oh, hey, Lloyd," and there's no name tag. He goes, "You've always been my favorite, Lloyd." And it's just one of those like, oh, maybe he's just some spirit that's like, you know, that when he gets to this hotel, he starts to come back a little bit. So I thought that was kind of an interesting way to look at the movie again that I've never really done before.
And he does tell Wendy, the moment I step foot in here, even at the interviews, I've been here before. Mm-hmm. When I was driving here, I'd been here before. So yeah, and you know, ending. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not. You know, Stephen King is the one that said, you know, horror movies shouldn't have those things discussed. The not knowing is much scarier than knowing.
Sure.
Yeah, because there's actually a quote in it in the beginning of Alan Wake. I remember Stephen King said that you're not supposed to know. Yeah, some other stuff, man. So there's a 119-minute cut of this movie and a 144-minute cut. So the 144-minute cut is the theatrical cut. It was 146, but then 144 because they minus that 2 minutes, right? Sure. So 144, that's the one we all know. And then there's the 119-minute cut that was used kind of internationally. And Kubrick has gone on to say that is his preferred cut.
Oh, interesting.
Is the 119. But it cuts out so much. I read a list of what it cuts out, and it's like, dude, how the fuck? Like the therapist with Danny in the beginning, none of it in there.
Wow.
None of the freaking what the hell's Tony? None of the Tony like explanation in the beginning, really, at all. No Scatman flying over, no Scatman calling the guy with the snowcat. So I guess he just show up.
Yeah, that's weird.
Or something. Yeah, and a lot of other stuff cut too. A lot of other stuff that like is like pretty essential stuff. Like a lot of the job interview, like stuff that really gives you. I was like reading it and imagining watching the movie without all these parts. And I'm like, that's a really different movie. Because that's a movie that doesn't really explain much and it just kind of breezes through stuff. And I bet if you did watch that movie and you never saw the original cut, you'd probably be a little more, I don't know what the word would be. You'd probably be, while you're watching, you'd probably go, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, now he's talking with his finger. Man, this kid's crazy. and then like, you know, probably be a little bit more jarring to watch that version. I just can't imagine liking that version better than this after reading about it.
Yeah, that's weird. Like even just from, you know, the perspective of the buildup, because this movie's a slow burn. I mean, there's no denying it. And that's what makes, I think, so effective is it takes a while to get to where things start to happen. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then everything just fucking flips on its head. So without that, when you take, you know, what is that, 20 minutes? When you take 20 minutes of that away, it doesn't sound to me like it would be as effective as much as what you're saying is, you know, just missing scenes that don't even make sense. So yeah, I'd be curious to watch it, but I don't. Yeah, it seems weird to me.
Yeah. So that more history. This movie's got so much cool history behind it. So the hotel used is in Oregon. I'd love to go there one day, man, and check that out.
Yeah. Timberline Lodge.
Yeah. What is it?
The Timberline Lodge.
Timberline Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's used for all the exterior shots. All the interior was built on a soundstage. It's all fake. But man, that could have fooled me, man.
Yeah.
That's not a hotel, right? That you built all of that.
It's crazy.
Like, dude, how much more expensive was that to do that?
Yeah.
You could have probably just bought a hotel.
Yep.
For the cost. You built one yourself from the ground up.
It's fucking insane.
It looks immaculate, dude. Like that looks like a 70s hotel. And like, oh my God, like so all the colors, dude. And when he goes into room 237, and like first you walk in, it's got like a cream couches with purple cushions and purple, green, and pink carpet. And then he goes into the bathroom and it becomes all like aquamarine.
Yeah. Like a lime green. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like all of them. Like, what the hell? These colors are gnarly, dude. Yeah. Then it's got that sexy ghost. And then he just starts making out with her. She turns into the floppy fish ghost. You kissed me. This is making fun of him. Dumbass. Got another one. That's her whole thing, just to catfish people. Just catfishing out here. And
that's all they do all day. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff I feel like is just a lot of the stuff in this movie, I do feel like it's just Kubrick kind of not doing it because he thought it would be better, just doing it to say fuck you to Stephen King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was room 217 in the book. Why don't you just use that? No, fuck you. Well, 237.
I heard that the Timberline. I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that the Timberline was talking to Kubrick, and they said, "Hey, we don't want that number because then we'll get all these people who just want to fucking stay in that room. We want to deal with that." So they switched it.
They didn't have a room 237.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it didn't help because everyone that goes there now asks for room 217.
Yeah. So it didn't work at all.
Good luck.
No, it's cool what you say about the sets though, because it's fascinating to watch especially the Vivian Kubrick documentary, because it's like they'll go on to set and then like they break or something and then they start walking off and then like they go behind the scenes and like there's wires everywhere and everything is like all this carpentry and you're like, whoa, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's like some of the best set work, dude.
Yeah,
like it's not easy to make a full functioning looking like hotel. The kitchen, they got all the tubing in the walls and stuff looks so real, and like, you know, when you're in the kitchen and it's got that rubber shit on the walls up to a certain point so it's easy to clean, like every detail is just awesome, so good. And then the cinematography in it is just
we got to talk about that for sure. Yeah, that's
beautiful, man. Every shot has got some crazy like fisheye lens or wide lens going on where you catch all the awesome set work. Slow, steady panning shots behind people. Like one of the coolest shots is Danny riding his trike.
Yep, that's through
the fucking hotel, dude. It's just like, and then the sound design too. When he's riding, it's like on the wood floor, and then he hits a carpet.
Yeah. So
I was like, oh man, so good. And
then, they invented the Steadicam for this movie, which is insane. It looks gorgeous. Just the fucking smooth how it just goes with everything. It's awesome.
Before that, people were like, "Oh fuck!
How do we do this?"
Filming Gone with the Wind. Shit, it's windy. Gone with the Wind is right.
Oh man.
Just all the Steadicam shit, dude. Woo.
Even like something, like a really subtle shot that I really fucking love. Maybe it's just the framing and the blocking of the actors or something, but it's right when Danny comes back from going into the room, and it's right after Jack has that nightmare, and so she wakes him up, and then it cuts to this fucking wide shot of Danny in the middle of the frame, and he's like he's in focus, but everything beyond him is out of focus, and there's this long, like very slow, just keeps going and going, and she's yelling at him to go to this room, and then she finally runs up to, I don't know, just little scenes like that where it's like, fuck.
That was a good one.
It's good.
Why don't you mind me, Danny? Mind me. And I love. Oh man, there's so much in this goddamn movie. But yeah, the Steadicam work. I want to see the cameras and what they. I didn't watch the documentary. I saw little bits and pieces of it, like him berating Duvall.
Yeah.
But I want to see the cameras. Like, what do they look like, man? Mm-hmm. What kind of rigs are they riding along behind that kid and stuff? Because
they said a wheelchair when I was reading about it, or some sort of like wheelchair-esque. Yeah.
Some kind of big kind of thing. I'm picturing something big. You know what I mean? But nowadays it'd just be a guy with the freaking rigged up freaking thing. But I'm sure it was something gnarly on that set. Yeah. What was I gonna say? There was something. Yeah, it's just so much. This movie's so good. It was, we were talking about this earlier. Might as well mention it. But the fucking poster.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that yesterday.
Kind of throws me off, the poster, man. It's just that, and you sent me that article about the poster by that famous poster artist. I don't know. Is that
Saul Bass? Yeah.
Saul Bass. And I was looking at his poster work, and yeah, they're pretty big movies, but that's not my cup of tea. Anything he's done. So, but I guess he's pretty well regarded. And he sent him all these samples, and they're all that stipple, or it's just dots making things.
Yeah,
I was like,
I didn't like that. Yeah.
Why has everyone got to be like this? And then like Kubrick didn't like any of them. And then they finally agreed to have like a face coming through the whatever it was, the T of The Shining or something, the H. And it's still stippled.
He's like, what the fuck is? I want to bring up the article real quick while you go.
And it looks
I want to read
like
some of his notes. They're pretty funny.
And it looks like some kind of alien looking through the letter. It doesn't look like this scene right here is what I think he was trying to evoke, or here, the Jack Nicholson. So I don't know what the hell is wrong. And then it's like yellow. The poster's yellow, and it's just so weird. But now, looking back on it, it kind of does go with the, just the weirdness of the movie.
Yeah.
It's totally a movie that would have a poster that you're like, what the fuck did that have to do with the movie? Very 70s looking poster too. But yeah, I feel like this movie is so iconic. It should have had a better poster.
Yeah. After you said that, I was kind of like, I just went in Google and typed in like the Shining fan art poster. There's some pretty cool ones out there, but even with the fan art stuff, I don't think I found one that was like, yeah, that's the one that belongs to the Shining. There's some really cool ones, don't get me wrong, but it was just like, sorry. So I have this article that you were just talking about, the one I sent yesterday. I just want to read one of Kubrick's notes because I think they're kind of funny. Mm-hmm. So for those of you just listening, this is a mock-up poster that the Saul Bass guy we were just talking about sent to Stanley, and it's a dot photo of the maze and like 3 shadow people going into it, and then underneath it just says Shining. And then the notes are, and it's written in hand on the actual poster, and it says from Kubrick, maze and figure places too much emphasis on the maze. I don't think we should use the maze in ads. Title C number 3. There's always little like, and then there's one with like a hand holding a bike. It's like hand and bike are too irrelevant. Title looks bad, small, looks like ink did not take to the part that goes light. I don't know, it's hard to read his handwriting, but it's just kind of funny to read his notes. This shit sucks. Try something different.
I mean, the fucking face one wasn't much better.
Yeah.
It's a little weird and creepy, because Clockwork Orange and Full Metal Jacket, those are some good posters.
Yeah, those are, especially Full Metal Jacket. That one's pretty iconic, at least in my mind.
Yeah. I don't know. In my mind, maybe the poster looks something like from the beginning, like a landscape wide shot with just the Shining, like in the blue kind of written. And that's it. Just very plain. Or a very far out shot of the hotel with The Shining written, maybe. But it is a movie. I think probably less is more on the poster. I mean, you don't want, like, a lot of people have like this image on like the DVD. I don't think that's the poster either.
Yeah.
The iconic shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the perfect poster would be, but I know that ain't it.
Yeah. I don't mind the 4K one. I was telling you that yesterday. I think that's kind of a cool.
That one's pretty
box
cool.
art. Yeah.
Because it evokes old timey posters, right? It's got the silhouette. Yeah. What is it? The silhouette of? It's a silhouette of Jack, right?
Yeah, with the axe, holding the axe.
Yeah, with the axe. But then on the inside, it's got like Danny on the bike in red outline and some other things from the movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looked pretty good. You could see like an older movie using a style poster like that.
Yeah. Agreed.
That one was pretty good. Oh, I want to talk about real quick the scene with the blood coming out of the elevator.
Mm-hmm. Iconic, yeah.
That scene took a year to do, like to get right. Like they just couldn't get the blood to flow, and he didn't like the way it looked. He's such a perfectionist. And wow, did he come up with something? Because like I don't even know what they're doing. The way it flows out and hits the ground, and the cameras almost look like they're 4K or something. I watched it on HBO. I didn't go get the DVD, so it's the HD transfer. So, but man, it looked. I don't know what cameras they're using, but you could tell some detail in these cameras, like the water flipping up from the splash. I could just see the little ripples and look so good. And then like it starts to get a little bit on the walls, and you can tell how red it is and like how thick it is. Sometimes when they do that fake blood in a big, if you would use that much fake blood, you'd probably just use a really red water to get it to flow really nice. But you could tell when it hits the walls, and the way it kind of comes down so slow and is so red that it's thicker than water. Mm-hmm. Like they went all out and used like, blood that you'd probably use in a close-up shot for someone bleeding, for all of this blood that you're using, like gallons and gallons of it. And it just looks so good to me. I was like watching that. I was like, gosh, this is amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like I don't even want to think about how many times or what they did to test it over and over to find the perfect fucking shot. You know what I mean? Like that's a one and done. You can't really. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can fucking
remake the whole goddamn set. That ain't coming out. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna bring it up to this, but I got lost. There's so much stuff. I love Wendy. The smoking around Danny. He's eating his Cheerios. She's just like blowing it in his face, flicking in his Cheerios. How's your Cheerios, Danny? It's like, oh, I love it, man. You can just smoke anywhere.
Yeah.
Put it out on the baby.
There's that scene where she's talking to the psychiatrist and she's holding it like this, and you can see as the scene goes like, ash the fucking cigarette.
Doesn't matter. Long. You ash it right on the shag carpet. Don't worry, it won't burn.
Oh man, that was totally a thing in the 80s. Just fucking ash it wherever you want.
Yeah, I like when I smoke at someone's house and they do that, it bothers me.
Yeah,
like I've had that. I've been outside smoking, and it's like, they'll just ash it. And it's like, I don't want to. It just seems weird to me to just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm starting a forest fire. I don't want to do this. I'll just hold it. That's about all I can think of on this amazing movie. You got anything else that comes to mind or you want to discuss?
I would actually, I was going to ask you, have you seen Room 237 or heard of it?
Is that a documentary or something?
Yeah.
No.
It's worth watching, kind of. It's about a group of people who just have theories about what The Shining is about, and like a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, and it's just them telling stories about, but it's kind of like, it's a little bit like almost like a hippie-ish. They kind of sound a little crazy, like conspiracy theory type people. So take what, some of the stuff they come up with is a little outlandish. But I think it is interesting, like some of the stuff that they brought up. The one that I thought connected to me was that Kubrick was known as like this perfectionist, right? This very meticulous director, like everything needs to be perfect before we shoot. But there's so much inconsistency in the movie that it's like, Like what? Like there's a scene. I think it's when Jack's doing the typing and telling Wendy to go fuck off, and behind him there's a chair up against the wall, and then you cut back to Shelley, cut back to Jack, and the chair's gone, and then you cut back, and then the chair's back again. It's like, did you do that on purpose, or was it a continuity? Everyone's tired, like, oh shit, we forgot the chair. We gotta cut. Bring the chair back, and then you just use the cut. Or like the scene I watched last night where Halloran has shown Wendy and Danny the kitchen, and he's like, oh, here's our walk-in. We got lamb chops and blah blah blah. And when they open the door, it's a certain hallway, right? Like the door exists. He opens it in that shot, and then you cut to inside of the freezer, looking at them. But then when he goes, okay, let's go. Do you want ice cream, Doc, or whatever he says? It cuts back to the same shot, but it's a different hallway. Completely different setup. And I'm like, well, you already have the door in the wide shot where they entered. Why wouldn't you just cut and have them enter back out? But it's a completely different hallway. So it's like all these weird things throughout the movie that don't really make a whole lot of sense. But I highly recommend it if you come across it on streaming. You see Room 237, you should check it out.
Yeah, I've seen some other things about, like, there's this theory about Jack is like molesting Danny or something. Have you seen that theory?
Ooh, no.
It's like I didn't watch the whole video. It started going in about like so they're there, and Danny has the counselor lady come in, and it's like, if you'll notice, Danny is covering his privates for some reason here, because he's sitting there and kind of has his hands on his privates. I think it could be just a trick of the eye. I think they're on his stomach. And like he has like underwear on, so it looks like he has no pants on or something.
Right.
He could be holding his privates. I don't know. And then he went into some other things. I mean, it was interesting. I don't know if I put any fucking weight in that. But then they go over like and I thought this was a deleted scene. Was this always in the movie? The dog, kind of blowing the guy in the room. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember it. I thought it was like a deleted scene, and then I watched the movie and it happened, and I was like, what the fuck? Maybe I'm watching a weird cut or something. But yeah, okay. Then yeah, and there's some other things they show like in their house, there's like a picture of two naked kids on the wall. But then there's in the hotel, there's a room of like two dogs in the same position. I don't know. This is all sorts of weird theories going on. But,
yeah, like sorry, go for it.
Well, Kubrick is so aware of everything. It's like he doesn't put something on the wall in a picture frame, just let someone pick it. You know what I mean? There's a reason behind everything. So now could be interesting theories.
Yeah. There's also like two scenes that are okay. So when Jack and his family go back to the hotel, and Mr. Ullman and his little side guy that has like one line is kind of weird in the office meeting. They come up to him, and Jack in the lobby is sitting down reading a magazine. He's reading Playgirl.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things they showed.
Yeah, and then also, and when Dick Halloran's on the plane back to Colorado, he's sitting there. The woman next to him is reading or looking at porno. There's like a nurse outfit and her tits are out. And I'm like, what is with everyone reading fucking pornos in this movie?
Yeah, and he's got like a shaft bedroom with
and he's got the naked women with that big afros.
Naked Nubian princesses and stuff. And he's like the friendly old black man. He's a really likable character. Me and my grandma could have conversations without even opening our mouths.
He's so good.
She called it shining. You didn't think you're the only one that could do it, did you? Yeah, he's really good. It always seemed like a cop out to me to just have him die like instantly after he gets there.
Yeah, it sucks. The only thing I think, because it does suck, but then I'm like, well, in a way he does save them, because without the snowcat, so in a way he kind of saves the family. So, but yeah, small sacrifice.
Yeah, we're wasting this whole thing about him freaking out, calling the lodge, and all this like 6 minutes of stuff
just
for him to get there. Yeah, then instantly just oh. But he knew what was going on, though.
Yeah.
He knows. And why would you go in there like, hey, is anybody home? Just yelling down the hallways. It's like, well, he kind of knew there was probably some murders going on.
Yeah, there's actually one thing I never even put it together or even thought about it. But I was like, this doesn't make sense, Kubrick, you motherfucker. So Jack is cutting down the bathroom door. Shelley's going fucking crazy, or Wendy's going crazy. And then the sound of the snowcat stops the scene. And then Jack runs off, and then Wendy kind of stays in the bathroom. And then we cut to Dick getting out of snowcat, and it's right outside the fucking bathroom window. So you're telling me that Wendy wouldn't have stuck her head out and be like, "Hey, fucking, I'm over here. I need help. My husband's trying to kill me. Be careful." She just doesn't say anything. Like, come on. There's no way.
I like how Danny gets out the window. And then he just runs back in the house.
And hides in a fucking
hides in that little thing like Jurassic Park.
Yeah. You're gonna fool him with the reflection.
Yeah, the raptors are coming. Ooh. Yeah, then for the rest of the movie, Jack has that limp like the Terminator in T1. Just to kind of slow him down. Yeah, but
yeah, that's that fucking maze thing at the end, that low angle, and he's kind of limping. South Park, man, they don't ruin it. South Park is amazing, but I just think of, because they do a skit of that where Randy's all fucked up going through the maze. Standing boy, and he's like the maze. I was like, God damn it.
That maze is ridiculous. That's so fake. Yeah. They pan out on that bitch. It's like a freaking 100-acre maze, and like, why would you have this here? Yeah. This is a huge liability. And they have those big red triangle things. It's like you can call for help. Help! Ding, 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 ding. Like, that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Keep ringing it. It's this way. Take a left and then another right. I think I know which one is ringing. It's like,
I think that's bell number 4.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. So, yes, a score. It's not hard to score this. It's hard to it's like, how high do you want to go? It has to be reasonable. But this is probably one of the best like thrillers, horror movies ever made.
Yeah.
As far as like the acting, the story, the cinematography, everything about it. And he made so many huge liberties with the book that I haven't read the book, but I know the differences. I kind of think they sound like it makes the movie better.
Yeah.
A lot of people do like the movie better than the book. Of course, a lot of people like the book better too. But typically a book is always better than the movie, you know what I mean? But this one has people torn, which is even in itself is a testament to the movie. Yeah, Jack is just a straight up bad guy in this. In the book, like, he knows he's being possessed. Like, oh, there's another thing. Like, he takes the things out of the radio in this one so they can't call for help. In the book, he does it because the radio is talking to him, telling him to kill his family. And so he wants to silence it. And so it's always coming from a place of good in the book. And at the end, he like blows up the hotel with the boiler and helps them get out, like sacrifices himself because he doesn't want the hotel to do this to anyone else. And so he's a good guy at the end. Then Stephen King, I think he said in an interview I saw, he's like, so I burned the hotel. He froze the hotel. That's the difference between us. One's hot, one's cold. Wow. And I was like, oh,
salty.
I was like, bro, he's so jealous that like his most famous movie is Kubrick's version, not his version.
I love it too because I don't know if there's any weight to this. I don't know if it holds any weight, but it's almost, yeah, like I think you even said it earlier where like Kubrick just purposely said fuck you to Stephen King. Because in the book, from what I understand, it's very clear that he drives a red Volkswagen. It's a yellow one. Like just to say
Yeah.
fuck you. And not only that, but in the movie, when Dick is driving to Colorado, there's an accident on the side of the road. There's a semi on top of a
Oh
red
yeah.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. There
Wow.
could be some shit there, but I think that's just kind of funny.
Yeah. You should have ate your breakfast. See, it's okay, honey. You saw it on the television.
Yeah. I know all about cannibalism. I saw it on the television.
Yeah. So, my score. I was thinking about this last night, thinking about it now. I think I have to give it I'm going to build the score. Hold on.
Nice.
Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. 9.6.
You were very close to me.
I'm gonna give it over a 9.5 because I think, I mean, to beat this, you got to be absolutely one of the best movies of all time. So that's gonna put it in the nines, easily. How good of a 9? I think it's closer to 10 than it is a 9. So I'm gonna give it a 9.6. I think it's beautiful. The movie is amazing. I mean, it's not a super, action-packed movie. It's actually kind of boring, but I can watch it constantly. Like, and I do pop it on every now and again, and I'm entertained like the whole time, even during the slow dialogue heavy stuff. So that's just amazing, and it's held up really well.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, the movie just fucking sucks you in. Like you're not walking away the moment you put that on. That's funny because when I just said that you're very close to mine, because my head immediately went to 9.7, so it's just one more above. But yeah, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I was telling you earlier, it was probably like a couple months ago, but for the first time, I actually sat down and wrote down my top personal favorite movies.
Yeah,
just my 10, and Shining's on the list. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. This movie fucking rules on every facet of what you can, review a movie on. And it's just like, I do struggle with a 10. Not that a 10 means perfection. I don't think that even like, journalists or people who review things, IGN, shit like that, I think they would even admit a 10 is not perfection. It's just like something that you experience. It's just like better than anything else.
Yeah.
But there are like very, 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 very nitpicky things where it kind of keeps it from a 10. But yeah, 9.7, that's where I'm at.
Sweet. 9.7, 9.6. Yeah. Amazing scores. I had something. It's weird. Games a lot of times will get 10s, in reviews. You don't ever see movies getting 10s.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, because they've been making movies for way longer than games, that it's just, I don't know, the line of perfection for a movie is so different than a game. It's almost unobtainable. I don't really know of any movie I'd rate a 10 because there's no such thing, right? Like, you're waiting to give the 10 out, right?
Sure.
Like, the perfect movie will be filmed by God, and then a director of photography, Kubrick, and then they release it. And then you're like, oh, here's the 10 we've been waiting for. This is the 10. Here, we finally got it. We still haven't got it. But we know that things aren't it. You know what I mean? Like, I know this isn't a 10, but I know it's damn close.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird thing with movies. I think that the 10 is so, it's like it's not unobtainable for a movie rather than a video game. I've seen lots of video games get 10s, and I wasn't like, oh, how could you? But if somebody gives a movie a 10, I'm probably going to be like, oh, you dumbass. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it ain't. It's a 9.8.
Damn, that's weird. Because I would probably give some. I would give some 10s to some movies. I'd probably give them to a lot of them. But yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't think of any.
That's kind of funny you say that, because I think I'm almost the opposite. I think like throw 10s at movies, and then when I see a 10 for a video game, I'm like, what, Deathloop? A 10? I haven't even played Deathloop, but that motherfucker ain't no 10.
Hey,
so yeah, it's weird.
It ain't no 10 if it ain't sitting on my fucking shelf. I'll tell you that right now, goddamn it, IGN. Mario 64, hell yeah, there it is right there. Damn right, it's a 10.
10.
Deathloop. More like Fruit Loop. Get that out of my face.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
They just be handing them out at IGN.
Yeah, IGN has lost a lot of credibility, man. I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
Yeah.
I just saw that they gave Ghostbusters a really good score. I hope they're right on that one.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know how all these people are reviewing it already. It's like, why isn't the movie out then? Why are you letting
They got us showing at a New York fucking film thing. Yeah, it was trending on Twitter. I fucking clicked on it. It was just nothing but, oh my god! I kind of had to walk away because I wanted to avoid stuff. But everyone seemed to be raving about it.
But that was like the limited one at the Ghostbusters thing, right? But there was
this is pretty recent. It's probably a week ago, if that's when that was. But
and they were the first time they were only allowed to give impressions. They weren't allowed to give a review. And I guess now they can give a review.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, now I got to avoid spoilers for like, what, 2 months? Shit. Yeah. How is this not a Halloween movie either? Release this motherfucker on Halloween. This ain't a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we jump off here, I'm gonna rush to eat dinner. I'm gonna watch Doctor Sleep just because I figured it felt right. We watched Shining last night. Watch Doctor Sleep tonight. But it's funny you mention that because Doctor Sleep, when it came out in like I think mid-November or something. Like, who's gonna go? Hey, Grandma, it's mid-November. Let's go see Doctor Sleep. Like, why wasn't that a fucking October release? It makes no sense. But yeah, I agree with the Ghostbusters thing. I don't know why it's November.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep is okay. It was just cool to see Danny again. He's kind of an asshole though. Unless that girl like died.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing.
Puts her baby on the bed, and then they died. Oh God. Yeah. The best parts of it were just the callbacks to Call of Duty, The Shining, like the openings, and the wide sweeping shots. That was really cool.
Oh, what? Nah, I love the fucking vampire people. It's so weird and
I don't know. That was weird. The main one was okay, but I thought there was too much of it. Yeah. Too much soul sucking and Shang Tsunging and
so good.
like all that's not a part of the first one at all. Now this is a big part of this.
Yeah.
It's like
well, it's funny because like we talk about Kubrick who fucking strayed far away from the source material, and you have something like The Shining, and you got Dr. Sleep. Mike Flanagan probably stayed pretty close to Dr. Sleep. Book adaptation, then you get I don't think Doctor Sleep is a bad movie by any means, but
no, he didn't.
They're just two different different things.
He strayed pretty far from the book.
Oh, really? For Doctor Sleep?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he pulled like the same thing. I guess the ending is completely different. I don't know what the ending of the book is, but I was reading a review where the guy says the ending of the book probably would have been a lot better. So maybe the ending of the book doesn't go into this fan service because it was just 30 minutes of fan service.
Yeah, when they go back to the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Speaking of that, like The Shining, I was just watching all these documentaries and stuff, and it's like, it made me want Shining content just watching this movie. It's like, it makes me want to, I was looking up Kindles, dude. I was like, I'm about to go buy me a Kindle and get me fucking read The Shining for once and see what the hell the hype is about. And then I was like, oh, you could just get it on your phone. It's like, it's not the same. A dedicated ebook. Fuck this phone.
Yeah, I wonder how that story would play with more supernatural elements. Even the stuff that I don't know too much about the book, but you've told me a few things here in this episode. But even the stuff that you've told me, it just sounds like possessed and wait, turn the radio off because the ghosts are telling us. I don't know. It just seems like a weird. I'm so used to this version of it, you know what I mean?
Ghosts in the radio? That sounds like bullshit to me.
That's where I draw the line.
That sounds like bullshit to me. You know what? These little dead girls and the blood out the elevator, but ain't gonna be no goddamn radio. Ghosts in the radio.
Or like I think the mazes come alive, or like there's like hedge mazes of animals. I think.
Yeah.
Some of that shit.
I was in the 1997 one too. What is this goddamn Scooby Doo? And I think they did it in like CG, and it looked fucking terrible. Yeah. Or it looks terrible now. I don't know how it looked in 97, but it aged really badly. So, yeah, that's it, man. What a masterpiece. This is the highest rated movie we've ever done, I think. Boom. Here it is, Shining. 9.7, 9.6. Masterclass, and I agree, it's my favorite Kubrick movie, definitely. Then I don't know, probably maybe Clockwork. It's really good. I don't know, Full Metal Jacket's really good too.
Full Metal, yeah. There's something about his movies, man. I mean, he's definitely like the first director I kind of attached myself to. But like, love or hate his movies. Like, you don't see anything like his stuff. Like, yeah, you got Scorsese and Spielberg and Hitchcock, and they're all fucking fantastic. But there's just
they all do the same.
They're all
fucking
something
movie.
different about Kubrick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just something about the way he just envisions this art form. It's just so different.
Well, they all do the same fucking movie. Scorsese, all these guys that are big, they all do the same movie over and over and over.
Yeah.
Tarantino, all of them. It's the same movie. You know, slightly different stories and stuff, but it's the same feels, the same everything. Kubrick is so all over the place, and all of them are good. He does a political satire comedy in Doctor Strangelove. That one's also really good.
That one's really good.
He does a sci-fi epic in 2001. He does a horror movie in The Shining. He does a fucking what was that other one?
Barry Lyndon. It was like a English, like 3 hour long
sweeping epic in Barry Lyndon.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does a jaded anti-war movie. Like, dude, he's all over the place, but all of them are good.
All of them are good, yeah.
It's like, how the hell do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't know what Eyes Wide Shut is. I imagine it's a love story. So he's like, nah, it's kind of like it's Tom Cruise.
It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to. Let's say it's about a couple that are kind of on the rocks, and Tom Cruise goes on a journey in one night, and it's about all I'll say. It's a good. I think I was kind of giving you the wrong impression last night when we were texting. I like Eyes Wide Shut a lot. I just know that everyone that I know who has loved Kubrick, that's like their least favorite of his.
That was his last movie, right?
That was his last movie. I think it's really good. It's just,
what was that? 97? It was like
99.
Oh, 99.
Yeah, it was
when
one
did
of
he
the
die?
Right before release.
Right before release. Oh man.
Yeah. So he didn't get to see it premiere, to my knowledge.
Son of a bia. Didn't look like the healthiest guy.
No,
what I've seen.
Pretty old.
Yeah. Old. I always look like kind of a bigger dude too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So go check it out. Masterclass, masterpiece, 9796. As always, please listen to the podcast wherever you choose. Apple. What's the other one? Spotify. Yeah, that's the one. Spotify. I was gonna say Pandora. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. We enjoy seeing you, and we'll talk to you next week. I don't know what we're going to do next week because you and I would know what's going on. Next week is actually 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, so this, and as you can tell, it's nighttime. So this will drop Sunday afternoon, but I'm pretty sure Dune is next weekend.
Ooh.
So I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Dune's next weekend. So
yeah,
that would be.
Well, that'll be it if it is, huh?
Yeah, highly excited about that one.
Yeah, cool. Well, stay tuned as we maybe check out Dune or Halloween Kills at least.
Halloween Kills. We could do
it'll be one of those two. So, I guarantee that.
Yeah, we could do a supplemental one or something in between, cranking these fuckers out.
Show. All right, brother.
All right, man.
Thanks for hanging out, and y'all, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. We'd love to have you. We love to talk movies. An hour a week, baby.
Yeah.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.